Hello, and welcome to the MyHeritage webinar series. I'm Jeff Rasmussen, your host, broadcasting to you live from webinar headquarters in Middleton, Idaho, where snow is on its way. Well, today we have Daniel Horowitz with us, who is live in Or Yehuda, Israel, for his class, I Received DNA Matches, Now What? Thanks to Daniel, and thanks to all of you for registering for today's live webinar, wherever and whenever you are. Glad to have you with us. Daniel Horowitz is a genealogy expert at MyHeritage, providing key contributions, liaising with genealogy societies, bloggers, and media, as well as lecturing and attending conferences around the world. Dedicated to genealogy since 1986, he was the teacher and the study guide editor of the family history project Searching for My Roots in Venezuela for 15 years. Daniel is involved in several crowdsourced digitization and transcription projects and holds a board-level position at the Israel Genealogy Research Association. Please put together your virtual hands and let's give Daniel Horowitz a nice warm webinar welcome. Hi, Daniel, and welcome to the webinar.
Hello, Jeff. Thank you very much. As always, is a pleasure, and I'm very excited to be able to be here with you and with all the people whenever or wherever they are, as you say.
Well, we've got
especially to answer probably one of the most asked questions when I'm at conferences, like what do I do whenever I receive DNA matches?
Well, it's a perfect topic because you're absolutely right. We receive these matches, and then now what? So here to answer that question, Daniel Horowitz. It's all yours, Daniel.
Thank you very much. And yes, let's start right from the beginning. Let me tell you that I love Sundays, and we were talking about this before we start. I know, Jeff, you love Sundays because it's a family day. For most of the people, I know you go to church, temple, do barbecue whenever there's no snow out there. But I love Sundays for another reason, because Sunday mornings after I wake up, I have a very good breakfast and I'm spending some time with my family. I just sit in front of my computer and wait. And I'm almost have it already by the minute, but I discover already that really depends on the servers, and I cannot know exactly when it's going to happen. But this is actually what I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that email that comes every Sunday. If you haven't figured it out yet, yes, every Sunday you have an email saying that you got DNA matches. Now, the first thing I do, of course, is I start going over the whole list of matches. It takes me a little bit more than what it's taking me here. And yes, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking why Daniel has so many matches. Well, I'm going to tell you my secret. Actually, two. First, I am the admin of various kits, and this is happening because some of my family members, probably same as yours, they are more than willing to open the mouth and let you take their DNA, with the only promise that you will not bother them ever again. So you are actually the administrator of those kits, and every communication and everything related to those kits is going to go to you. Now, the second reason why so many matches is because during the week, MyHeritage had been processing DNA kits that arrived to the lab, or processing DNA kits that were uploaded and doing all the calculations needed to match and to give you the results. And it's only on Sundays when the server goes and produce those emails that you receive. Now, let me take one step back, because again, I am not sure how new or savvy you are, whoever you are looking and watching this webinar, I would like to spend just 1 minute to talk about MyHeritage in general. MyHeritage is a company that was founded in 2003 by our CEO and genealogist himself, Gilad Yafer. And the idea of MyHeritage is right now to empower you to discover what makes you who you are. And this can be through different tools that we have available on our platform. We started with family trees. Right now, we have a little bit more than 47 million family trees. Those are 3.6 billion profiles and 107 million users that are taking care of those family trees. Then we give you historical records. We already hit the barrier of the 10 billion. We have a little bit more than 10 billion, and we keep working very hard to bring you all those records. And the third part will be the DNA, which is actually divided into two. The genealogy DNA, which gives you the ethnicity and the matches, which is what we're going to talk today. And the second part is the very last feature of DNA that we have released, which is the health report. Now, today, right now, just a few minutes ago, I have a huge scoop for everybody because we just released 9 more health reports. Very soon, those in my list, societies, librarians, and bloggers, are going to receive an email about this. I do know that the press release is officially out, so you can hear all about it very soon. Now, one of the strengths of MyHeritage is that all this is available in 42 languages. So we are definitely the most global company in the genealogy business out there. So let's go back to the DNA part. Our test is an autosomal test, and the way that we collect the DNA is with a cheek swab. Why? Well, basically because we don't want you to spit on anybody. It's much easier, especially when you're trying to collect the DNA of elder people, to do it with a cheek swab. Then you send it to the lab and you get that famous email, Sunday morning's email. But there is another way also to have a DNA sample in MyHeritage, because I'm sure a lot of people have taken other companies' family DNA. So the good news is that if you have tested with any of these companies, you can upload your results, your digital file from those companies into MyHeritage and get exactly the same benefits, get exactly the same matches and the same results that any other person that have bought and test with MyHeritage itself. So yes, I'm encouraging you, all of you who have tested in other platforms, to upload to MyHeritage. Now, should you upload one of them or two of them, or which is the best company to upload? My suggestion is free. So go ahead and upload all the ones that you have. The more, the better. So let's go back to the email. You remember at the end of the email, it says, view all your DNA matches. And this is exactly what I want to do, because the information that the email is giving me is very limited. It's telling me the name of the person, the country, is also telling me how many centimorgans and how we are related. But there is much more information that MyHeritage will give you at the website. So let me click over there and get right to the website. Now remember, we will give you also ethnicities estimations, and you will have an overview, but this webinar is going to be concentrated only on the matches. Remember also, I told you that I am the administrator of various kits. So in here, I landed by default on my own kit, but I can select from this drop-down menu any other kit that I administrate, and then I can see the matches and the results for those. As you can see here, my first match is with my mother. which is also always a very good news. Then my great-grandaunt and another great-grandaunt from my father's side, and those are the matches that I already know. And those are my best matches. So every time I go into this page, I'm going to see those at the beginning. Now, I already know them by heart. I am more interested in the new matches, in the matches I don't know, in the matches I have not reviewed. So there are a few things you can do here, which is exactly what I'm doing. The first thing is I go to the bottom of that page and I change the default of the results per page to 50. The default will be 20. Why? Because I'm putting myself a threshold, which is 50. Whatever is not in that first page, I don't go further on the research. It's very similar when you do a search in Google. I'm pretty sure you go to the first, maybe the second, less probably the third page, but at a certain point you will not keep going through all the pages. So I'm doing exactly the same here. I'm setting up 50 as the maximum matches that I'm allowing myself to review. The next thing I do is I use the filters. And this is very important because in the filters, I can choose the type of matches or the information that has those matches that is going to help me to find out how I am related to that person. And on the first filter, you have Theory of Family Relativity, but you have other 3 details. Now here I'm going to start begging you, please, and I'm going to demonstrate you also why you must have a family tree together with your DNA. Because I can actually filter and have only those DNA matches that have theories of family relativity or that have smart matches or a shared surname and place, or many other details that are actually coming from the family tree. And if I can evaluate your family tree next to my family tree, it will be easier for both to find out how we are related. The other filter that I do is the relationship. MyHeritage classifies the relationships into 3. Close family, meaning parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, cousins, everybody in, let's say, 2 or 3 jumps between you and the other person. In other words, people that almost for sure you know who they are. Unless, of course, we're talking about adoptive or surprises. And yes, when you do a DNA test, you may find surprises. Then you have the extended family, people who are close enough for you to easily find out how you're related, but still you may not know most of those. And then the third category will be the distant relative. Those are the ones that I don't touch because chances are that they are so distant and they may not have a good family tree that it will be almost impossible to find out how we are related. So I'm going to select extended family in the relationship. And yes, I can apply more than one filter at the time. I have other filters, but I'm not going into those right now because that's not what I do. And then I can sort my matches either by shared segments or shared DNA, but no, what I'm looking for is either the name, the last name, Horowitz, Singer, the last names that I know, or better, by the most recent, those that arrived in that email that I received a couple of minutes ago. Now, they are also going to have a kind of a tab that will tell you that that match is a new match, okay? But if I sort and show first the most recent, I will be able to go over the new matches before. Of course, that sometimes also I just type a last name and I find all the matches that have that last name as well. It's much easier to find the connection if I already know how last name wise, how we are related, what branch of the family we are talking about here. So once I applied all my filters, I will come to one or few DNA matches that I can then go again and review them one by one. What do I look into this information that MyHeritage is giving me? First of all, the estimated relationship. MyHeritage is telling me that this person may be between a third cousin to a more distant cousin. How does MyHeritage knows that? Because MyHeritage knows how the DNA is distributed among the family. More than that, because I have also the percentages or the amount of DNA that we share, MyHeritage will identify the location of this possible relative in my tree. So always you are going to be in big purple between your parents and your child. And then in a lighter purple are the possibilities of this, the location of this person in the family tree. Now take in account that this could jump from the mother's side or the father's side or the one of the grandmothers or grandfathers. So you have multiple options, but definitely this should be the location of the person. Let me explain to you a little bit how this works. My person is composed by 100% of DNA. Makes sense. That 100% is coming 50% from my mother and 50% from my father. In theory, the autosomal test will not be able to determine which part of my 50% or 150% is coming from my mother and which part is coming from my father. There are other techniques that will help us for that, but let's keep going through my family tree. So if I have 50% of each parent, it means that I should have 25% of each grandfather. And if I keep going and jumping, I will be losing 50% in each jump. So I have 12.5% DNA of each of my great-grandparents. If I need to go down to a cousin, every jump will lose 50%. So the next one will be 6% and the next one will be 3%. And that is how a second cousin can have 3% or 1.5%. And it doesn't matter from which side of my cousins are. Now, you may have half siblings. Half siblings or cousins have less DNA. And I like to talk about percentages. I think percentages are easier to understand. There are people that likes to talk in centimorgans. Centimorgans is the measure of that piece of DNA. And the 50% is not exact. So the centimorgans also cannot be exact. And that is why you have those ranges. So between 2,200 and 3,300 centimorgans will do 50%, will do a sibling. Again, it's exactly the same. It all depends how you prefer to manage the information. So back to my match. We're already talking a little bit about the quality of the match. In this case, with Brian Jansen, I'm sharing 0.4% or 31 centimorgans. I know MyHeritage is telling me that those pieces of that DNA is divided into 4 pieces, 4 segments, and the biggest one is 9.3 centimorgans. Now, you can learn everything about this quality and these measures on the information that we provide. I can already tell you that my personal opinion, is nothing below 1%, it's worthwhile to check. Of course that there are exceptions. This is not a rule that you can take for every match. Especially why I am taking that risk and why I'm setting those numbers, because if I go to my ethnicity, you will discover that I'm an Ashkenazi Jew. And there is already known that Ashkenazi Jew has a lot of endogamy. Endogamy means that the same DNA was recycled among the same relatives, so the true relationship is hidden under a lower value, meaning that if I match 3% with somebody, he may be a more distant cousin than what it's supposed to be with that 3%. So at this point, I'm already able to hit this balloon that I already heard. It's a little bit difficult to see on that corner, and this will open a note place. Here I can type a message, and in this case, I'm using these balloons or these notes to discard or to write those DNA matches that have very low probability. You can do totally the opposite. You can write here a positive message. You can earmark those matches because once you have written the information over there and you save the note, now the balloon turns into purple, so it's actually easier to see. So you could use this to say, you know what, this is a good match. I should explore more my connection with Brian. I'm going to put just this on a side for now and keep going with my other matches. This is totally flexible and this is totally up to you. Now, let's assume that I'm going through this match with a positive attitude, and I see that I have more information here about the match. And this is actually very useful information. I see that Brian is in another family tree with more than 380 people. So it means that I have more chances to see the relatives, the ancestors, and try to find the common ancestor between Brian and myself. More than that, MyHeritage is telling me that it found a theory of family relativity, meaning a possible path between Brian and myself, which is going to make my life very easy because I just need to go and make sure through research, documents, and I'm going to show you how in a second, and make sure that that theory is actually true. Now, not necessarily this will happen. After all, it's a theory, and you still need to do a little bit of research and prove if it works or not. But MyHeritage is giving me here other hints, like what are the surnames that we have in common? If I have Cohen, yes, of course, it's not going to help me a lot, I know, but at least I know that we should be related through that branch. More than that, MyHeritage found smart matches, meaning that there are people in my tree that are also in Brian's tree. You know what? This is definitely the proof that our families are connected and that chances are our DNA match is coming through those smart matches. Individuals both in my tree and his tree that are the same one. Finally, MyHeritage is telling me about places that I have in my tree and also in Brian's tree. And we know that 100 years ago, people didn't move as much as we do today. So if we both have ancestors in a particular country, chances are that that is how we are related. So I have here all the clues, I have here all the hints, all the tips to guide me on my research and prove that Brian and I are indeed related. Let's go and review that match more in deep, and let's see all the information that is hidden behind this button. The first thing that MyHeritage is going to show me is the theory of family relativity. Now, you would think that working for MyHeritage, I should have a little bit of privileges and get a theory for myself. Well, no, it doesn't work like that. So far, MyHeritage has not been able to find a theory for my matches, probably because they don't have a good family tree, or we haven't found the records that connect two people. So I had to ask my good friend Randy Seaver to allow me to show his theory with one of his cousins so I can show it to you. So MyHeritage is telling here, Randy, that there is not only one theory, but many theories. In this case, actually 3 theories, 3 ways that he is related to this cousin. Of course, I can see in the summary here that MyHeritage goes up through a tree, through ancestors, until we get to the third great grandmother, and then goes down through another branch and gets to his 4th cousin. And this is very exciting, but both Randy and I are hardcore genealogists. We want to know exactly how MyHeritage figured this out. So in this purple button, you can see the full theory, and we can show you the whole path. You can see, starting on the very left of the screen, how we went up to his great-great-grandfather. Then MyHeritage found a record match, a connection in a record with the 1851 Canadian census, where this individual appeared with the parents, and then another record match with Family Search family trees. It could be also a smart match with another tree in MyHeritage, and then another jump into Genie trees or other records. The idea is that we're having all the information available in MyHeritage and connecting those dots and those pieces of information in order to prove what we know it's a true. You both are related through DNA. The DNA don't lie, and it's a match. Now, probably this path is not correct because the record is wrong, the tree selected is not accurate, or we made any mistakes in the middle. Again, you need to go and you need to evaluate each of the nodes that confirms this theory. Now, what you can do if this theory is not right? Well, unfortunately, not too much for now. You cannot confirm, you cannot reject this theory. This is just a theory that it's exposed to you, so you can evaluate and decide if it's true or not, and later on take actions. We are working on improvements. Hopefully, very soon we will give you more options here. The second section, the next section that we're showing you is smart matches. Remember I said people in my tree, which you can see in the left side, with people in the other, in Brian's tree in the right side. And if we both have those individuals, almost for sure, that is how we are related. And this is just a sample, a summary. I can view all the matches and all the pending matches, but I'm going to ask you not to get distracted. Smart matches is a different technology, is a different subject in the MyHeritage world. Let's keep with the DNA match, and let's keep scrolling down to the next section, which is ancestral surnames. Here you can see the people in your tree on the left, on Brian's tree on the right, and the last name that matches. We talk about Cohen, and yes, Cohen is pretty much like Smith, so not very useful. But I see that there are more surnames hidden under this option right here. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to see all my last names against Brian's last names, because sometimes I can see some spelling variations, or I can see a specific last name that I have not added to my tree for any reason, and some of those can ring some bells, and probably that is how we are related, and we haven't explored that enough. So MyHeritage will give you the option to see all the surnames that you both have in your family trees. The next section is places. So why it's obfuscated, why I cannot see the information? Because I haven't mentioned till now, some of these features are paid features. Even if you tested with a MyHeritage DNA kit, or if you have uploaded from another company, we will give you a few features for free, like the ones that I show you up till now. We will give you other features for a payment. And you can do one payment per kid, and it's a one-time fee. If I'm not mistaken, it's $29. Or if you have any of the accounts that MyHeritage offers you, Premium, Premium Plus, Complete, or Data, you will get this without any problem. So in this case, I am showing you what happened if you have not paid. In my case, and yes, this is definitely one benefit of working for MyHeritage, I have all the features. So if you paid, you will see the list of people in a specific country in your tree on the left, on Brian's tree on the right. You can compare the locations. Sometimes, again, the border move. So what I set as Poland may be Ukraine for Brian. Here I can also see all the list of places. Again, because of the spellings, because of the borders. Maybe I located a family in Romania while Brian did in Ukraine, and again, depends before or after the war. Everything is viewable right here. The next section is the shared DNA matches. As you can see, MyHeritage will give you the first match for free. All the others are obfuscated, and this is actually one of the most important pieces in the DNA puzzle. Let me show you the paid feature right here. And remember when I said that the autosomal DNA doesn't clearly tell you if the part of the DNA who is coming from your mother or your father's side of the family? Where the shared DNA matches will actually give you that clue. You see that the first match is my mother, and you see that I match my mother, and also Brian matches my mother, meaning that Brian, myself, and my mother are all in the same group. We share the same DNA. So all the matches that are going to be in this list, including Brian, I can say that they're coming from my maternal side. So it's a huge clue to know that, because I'm just cutting my tree in half and I can concentrate on half of it to evaluate where my matches are coming. If I would have other cousins or other ancestors tested, my grandmothers or some cousins from one grandfather and not the other, and I see them here, I will reduce that into a quarter or an eighth of a tree, and I will be able to pinpoint the exact branch where Brian and I are related, where this common ancestor is located. Now the next section is now the obvious one. It's the pedigree chart. If I already know how we are more or less related, I know that it's from my mother's side. All what I need to do is to see both family trees and find the common ancestor. Now this is also the most depressing part, especially when I found people like Brian. You see that Brian only put the parents over there? I don't have even grandparents to evaluate, so it's extremely difficult to find out how we're related. Brian's around the world, please take the time to build a family tree so I can compare. You can compare your tree with the other tree and try to find that common ancestor that gave the DNA to you and to Brian, so you will know exactly how you are related. The next section is share ethnicities. Yeah, it's also a paid feature. I already told you that I'm an Ashkenazi Jew, same as Brian. If I need to be honest with you, I really don't look at ethnicities when I am doing the matching evaluation. But again, this is just me. For some people, this may be useful, especially if you both know that you are this 1% Irish, Scottish, and Welsh. So maybe this will give you a hint on your family, like where this match is coming. I will just go to the next part, which is the chromosome browser, meaning the different segments. Remember, I had 4 segments. Here they are. I can actually see with my own eyes the largest segment. I can even click on each segment and see how big it is, what amount of centimorgans, how many snippets are there, all kind of details. And those are the sections that are common to Brian and to myself. Now, this will bring me to other tools that MyHeritage has for you. I'm going to go under the DNA menu. The drop-down menu shows me DNA tools, and here I have a tool that I like and a tool that I love. Let's start with the one that I like, the chromosome browser, right? You saw my chromosome browser, my map between me and Brian. But what MyHeritage is allowing me to do here is actually to pick up to 7 individuals matching me on my results, or any other of the other people that I administrate on MyHeritage, and see the map of the pieces of DNA that I share with all of them. This will give me, of course, a clearer map. And what I managed to do with this is to identify the common pieces between all of us. So this will be kind of the, in this case, is singer chromosome. No, that chromosome doesn't sing. Singer is one of my last names, and all the people that I selected here are actually people from my Singer family. Now you can add or remove people from this group. You can try to find with this map how you are more or less related to other people and play with it without any problem. Now, if you go down, you will also see for each of the pairs, the numbers, the segments, the centimorgans, the snippets, all the information is right there for you to evaluate. Let's go back to the tool that I love, the auto cluster. Now, why do I love this tool? Let me show it to you. And this is a story from real life. Autocluster is an animation, is a chart, very colorful, very interesting. Everybody likes it how it looks. Not everybody knows what it means, those colors. I can generate, again, an autocluster for any of the DNA kits that I'm managing. And once I click that generate, it's going to take a couple of minutes. Unless you all go at the same time, and then it's going to take a few more minutes because the servers have capacity or limitations. But what you are expecting is an automatic email that will have that auto cluster file delivered to your inbox. And it's going to come in a compressed file, meaning that this file is going to have multiple files on it. You don't need to worry, you don't need to care about this, because in your computer, when you double click this file, the computer knows, or should know, what to do. And it's going to open the folder, and it's going to show you 3 files. One is a PDF. It's a very nice and long explanation of what is an autocluster. To tell you the truth, I haven't read it yet. But then you have a CSV, which is the numbers, the centimorgans, the snippets, all the information in numbers, and I'm very bad at numbers, so I'm avoiding that file as well. The file that really interests me is the HTML file. And this is kind of an internet file, so it's going to be open in your browser. What do you need to open it? Just double click on it. Your computer will know how to open it, and it should look like this. In your browser, you're going to have this, and you're going to have different ways of sort the information from the clusters. My suggestion is leave it as clusters. What are clusters? Clusters are groups of people. What you are not seeing on this top bar and on the sidebar, because I have privatized, those are all the names of the people that matches me. Now, not really. Because remember that MyHeritage has these 3 groups, the close match, the extended match, and the distance match. MyHeritage is going to take here in account only extended matches, meaning I'm not going to find here my mother, I'm not going to find here my cousin. I'm going to find here second cousin, third cousins, uncles, distant relatives, not that distant, but close enough that I will identify 1 or 2 names on each group. So the color means a group. Remember that I'm an Ashkenazi Jew, so my first group may be a lot of people that shares among all of us the same DNA, but I may not know them because they are more distant than they are really what the DNA says. So I'm going to jump directly to my second cluster, and this is the story, the true story, when Ran Sneer, which is our product manager, was explaining me this. Immediately when I opened my second cluster, I said, Ran, I understand how this works. Of course, he said, yes, sure. I said, well, I'm a genealogist, I know, but still, I completely understand this because of this second cluster. And if you pay attention to my second cluster, I'm pretty sure you can very easily also understand how this works. Let me give you a little bit of a help. Remember, one of my last names is Singer, and you can already see that in this group, I have 3 Singers. One of them has a second last name, meaning has a maiden name, it's a lady, and the name is Wolf. And why this is important? Because I have also a Wolf in this group. So you already understand that all the people in this group are related between themselves. Let me keep helping you, because what is not obvious is that my Sattingers and my Finkentals, I know from my family tree and my research that they are also part of this Singer ancestors branch. What this means is that Schumann and Murphy, it doesn't matter what last names they have, they definitely are related through this Singer branch. So you can see how the autocluster is helping me identify people that I may not know how I am related to them, but at least is giving me the clue of which branch or which side I should be researching or emphasizing more. Now, I said already I'm very bad with numbers. Normally I don't look at numbers, but the auto cluster, which probably will be the exception to that rule. You can see here a list of all the people involved in that second cluster, and information that MyHeritage is telling me also, besides centimorgans, snippets, pieces, clusters, etc., is telling me also the amount of individuals in the family trees. And yes, all the ones that are in a tree with 7,717 individuals, you're right, they are in my own tree. Only 2 individuals have much less individuals, Schumann and Murphy again. Only 14, only 9. Please, please, take a little bit of time and do your research, build your family tree with all the information that you can have, because otherwise it's going to be really difficult to find out how we are related. But at least I know if they are good genealogists, bad genealogists, how big or small are their family trees. And whenever I click that number, I'm going to go directly to their website and I'm going to see whatever they allow me to see, whatever privatization rules they selected from the multiple that MyHeritage allows you to. So I have done all the study of this match. I know everything that I can know about this match, and I'm still not sure how we are related. What is my next step? I am now ready to contact Brian. Now, if I am lucky, I will have not only one person, but 2 people to contact. Why? Because Brian is what I call the donor. Brian is the guy that opened the mouth and gave the DNA to be tested. But Nicholas is actually the administrator of that DNA. So Brian knows probably limited information about himself and his immediate family. Nicholas may be the hardcore genealogist that is building the family tree, that is researching, and that knows everything. So I'm not going to play with my chances, and I'm going to send an email to both. How can I do that? Just by clicking Contact Brian and Contact Nicholas. MyHeritage is going to open a window with my inbox, my email in MyHeritage, ready with an email to Brian. In this case, MyHeritage is kind enough to put already a subject, MyHeritage DNA match with Brian Jansen. You have no idea how many emails I receive from people I don't know saying, oh, yes, we have a match. How we are related? Well, let's start from the beginning. I have a match with who? I administrate a lot of DNA kits. Which one is the match with you? So at least I already know from the subject where and how and who is the person that is related to me. And then, of course, I can write to Brian a more detailed information about my family, and I can also invite him to visit my website or to exchange information. Now, you have noticed that I cannot see Brian's email. That is because all the communication is kept private inside the MyHeritage system. Brian will not see my email address unless I write it on the message. I will not be able to see Brian's email address if he doesn't wrote me. Now, what happened after I click send? That email is being sent directly to Brian. And then I need to wait and wait and patiently wait. Now, I don't have a lot of patience, so I will actually go to the next match and try to find out how we are related, and just hope and pray that Brian will answering me. And I know that a lot of you are very disappointed because people don't necessarily answer you. And here I have to admit that I will need to ask you a little bit of do as I say, don't do as I do. Although I'm trying to dedicate at least 1 hour a week to answer those people that write me. But it is like a phone call. Like, you can call me, you may know my number, but if I don't want to answer, you will not be able to talk with me. So emails works on the same way. Very disappointing, but that is life. So please, if this is the case with you, at least dedicate a few minutes to say, listen, I'm not interested. I cannot find the match. Maybe next week, next month, or next year. At least the other person will not be disappointed and will know that you are still alive and kicking. So, summarizing, what do I do with my matches whenever I receive that email? First, I filter and I sort my matches by the different possibilities that I have, including details from the family trees that will make easier for me to evaluate and to decide how we are related, and making sure that I select those new matches, which are those arrived in the last week or in the last couple of days. Then I review each one with the relevant information, as I show you, a theory of family relativity if you have one, and you may not have one, and that is fine. Hopefully, we will make this an automatic system. Right now, it's running manually, so every couple of months, we run a new batch, so don't expect a theory happening in the next couple of weeks, I can already tell you. Smart matches, ancestral surnames and places, shared DNA matches, and the pedigree chart. And then I review the auto clusters if needed, and I contact both the donor and the administrator in case that they are two different individuals. Now, before I give the microphone to Jeff and we start answering a few questions, I would like to make a few announcements. First, I don't know if you are all aware of the new section on MyHeritage that was released a couple of months ago. The education page is education.myheritage.com. Here we're publishing all kind of material, videos, articles, even webinars like this one will be published over there. The idea is that you can come here and you can learn about family trees, about research on MyHeritage, DNA, health, all the features, how to work with it, and how you will become a better genealogist. So if you have questions, this is one place to go and to learn a little bit more about MyHeritage. A little bit of shameless publicity, because yes, we are almost at the door of 2020, and I already started planning my trips. As Jeff mentioned at the beginning, I travel a lot for genealogy conferences. I'm going to be in Rootstech, and I'm going to be doing some other lectures around that. I have also other webinars. I will be at NGS, at the Ontario, IHGS in San Diego, and FGS conference also in September. And we're closing so far with the MyHeritage Live 2020, is the MyHeritage Conference, who is going to be this year in Israel. So I don't need to take a plane for that. Jeff, I'm pretty sure you are invited, so start packing.
Can't
We
wait.
still don't have a date, but soon we're going to release that. And if you want to follow me on my social media, you have over there all the ways that you can keep up with my travels and the news that I am releasing every now and then. Just a quick of reminders. If you have tested with other companies, upload it to MyHeritage now. It's free. You will get all the features that I show you here. Please, please, please dedicate some time to build your family tree, to put the names, dates, places, even pictures of your ancestors, of your relatives, so it will be easier for everybody to find out how you are related. And if you don't have a family, if you don't have a DNA yet, this is probably the best time to get a MyHeritage DNA kit today. And why I'm saying today? Because it's really today. We have a Black Friday amazing deal, as it says on this very nice banner. This is the lowest price ever, even lower than the price we put in conferences. We have never sold DNA kits for $39, and this is the price that you can buy today. Now, if you buy 2 or more kits, shipping will be free. And for only $3 more, we will even wrap that DNA kit for you, and it will be ready to be sent as a present to any other family members. Now, this is for the genealogy DNA kit. We also have a health version, as I mentioned at the beginning. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm pretty sure Jeff will help me on the background, the health DNA kit is being sold for $79, right, Jeff?
Yep, that's right.
And then if you have this DNA kit, you can actually upgrade and get the health reports today, starting today, 37, we said, right, Jeff? 36 reports. We just released 9 more reports, and that upgrade is only $50 instead of $120. Is that correct, Jeff?
I think yep, you're right.
Yep. You see, I'm not that bad with numbers. So go ahead and run right after this webinar. Go to myheritagedna.com and take advantage of this Black Friday special.
Hey, you can
Jeff,
go to myheritagedna.com. I was typing in myheritage.com/DNA, but either one of those works. Yeah, when I first saw that, Daniel, that $39 offer, I was thinking, is that a mistake? But no, that's a very good price. So if you're hoping for that, yeah, go and grab that now. Daniel, I've got a question from a viewer that says, is Daniel a warm, personable person as he seems? I know you two have met. It is my curiosity speaking. He appears that way to me, and I love his humor. Well, yes, Daniel is as warm and personable in person as he is here online. He's a good friend. Love spending time with him. Yeah, and you got a good sense of humor too every now and then, Daniel. It's enjoyable to listen to you. And by the way, you have a possible cousin here in the audience who saw something on your screen in your match area, and she says that you and she both have the same cousin. So we may have made a live match here today.
That's one of the reasons why I love doing this and showcasing my family tree and my matches, because you never know where you're going to find a match. So I would love to get in contact with that attendee later on with more than pleasure.
Okay, so I've put your contact information there in the chat area, so everyone out there should have that. And, yeah, I know. Well, another viewer, Tambra, says that she really likes MyHeritage. I've had more contact with matches on this site than all of the others. So thanks, Tambra, also for being here today. Well, you're going to get to listen to Daniel again in, I think, 2 weeks. So December 10th, Daniel will be here for the year in review. And I love these kinds of classes and articles. But he'll talk to us about the new records and features in MyHeritage. So that's December 10th. Sign up. And then for the 2020 live webinar schedule, stay tuned. That's getting close. And just head up to familytreewebinars.com/myheritagewebinars, and you'll gain direct access to being able to register there. Let's do a couple of door prizes here today. Our first door prize will be for one of our viewers. This will be the 1-year MyHeritage Complete plan. So this gets you the family site subscription that Daniel has spoken about. Get your tree up there. It really is important to have your tree there. So you get all of that plus, and Daniel, I checked this out yesterday. We're up to 10.2 billion historical records now and climbing. Daniel, that's my favorite blog post of the month. I know you like Sundays for DNA emails, as do I, but up at blog.myheritage.com is where the new historical records are announced, one and sometimes 2 times a month. So this complete plan will get you access to all of this. So let's go and find our winner. Let's go to, and these are randomly selected. Let's go to Joan Buckman. So Joan, congrats. You are our first door prize winner today. Hope that made your day. And then let's go and let's do a MyHeritage DNA test kit. Again, what was that? MyHeritageDNA.com. And do that. What was that date? It ends in 3 days. I think the 29th.
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 Right.
Okay. And yeah, you're not seeing things incorrectly when it does say $39. All right. We are going to go to...
Jeff, while you pull that name,
yes.
And I know that some people may be disappointed because I know some people are not in the United States. We have viewers from Europe and other countries. In Europe, it's 49 euros or
okay.
49 pounds.
Okay, good. Thanks for clarifying that. All right, our winner, Michael Fike. Michael, we'll just watch for an email from us, and we'll arrange for that. So thanks for being here also. Okay, Daniel, are you ready? Are you ready for the Stump Daniel session now?
Start shooting.
Okay, here we go. Interesting question here from Kat, who says, so what happens if you uploaded your DNA from another company and then you purchase a MyHeritage test? Are there going to be any complications there or advantages to doing that?
Well, there is going to be a bit of an advantage because not every company tests the same areas. We all test, let's say, 98% of the same areas, but there is a little piece that each one test or don't test. So if you upload for multiple companies and you add MyHeritage, and even if you don't add MyHeritage, but you have multiple companies, we're going to kind of merge that DNA result, and we're going to have a better sample to give you matches and ethnicity. So yes, you can do that with no problem. You can upload from other companies and then have a MyHeritage DNA kit. We know how to deal with that with no problem.
Good. I remember Rand Sneer, who's been here on previous webinars. He said the same thing too. Just get them all up there, and and somehow you guys know how to combine it and give us something even better. Very good, thank you. Via is asking, how long are the DNA test kits good for? In other words, she says, if I buy one today, can I hang on to it for a year or so before I find someone to take the test?
Yes, and that will be a very clever idea.
Yeah.
You can stock them up 2-3 years. Doesn't get ruined. It has like a saline solution inside that it will not expire or get damaged. You can buy a few and just wait for the right person to test.
Okay, good. And you're welcome, Via, who writes in very happily. Uh, Carol says, thanks to MyHeritage DNA, we have been able to locate my husband's homeland in Ireland and are now planning a visit in the spring. So, congrats, Carol. That sounds
Very
very...
nice. Are you inviting us? I guess
Carol?
not.
Carol? All right, let's... got lots of good questions here. Tambra is asking... Well, Tambra says she's confused. If I tested at 2 other sites and then upload the raw data from both of those to MyHeritage, wouldn't the results be the same? I would think it would be confusing relationship-wise. Well, so Daniel...
Again, yes.
Same thing, right?
Like the results are going to be pretty much the same. Your second cousin is not going to change from one company to the other, but the accuracy is going to be a little bit better. But if you want to upload only one DNA kit, you can choose any of the companies. That's fine. You're still going to get results, and results are going to be good enough.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you. Let's see. So Catherine, she's recently ordered a test kit. She hasn't sent it in yet. Can she go ahead and order that that $50 health upgrade, which is on sale right now? Would that work?
That's a very good question. I would say no. And let me explain you why. Because in order to upgrade a MyHeritage DNA kit, you need to have it under the manage results or the manage DNA kits, where you're going to see a list of all the kits that you have uploaded. And then you're going to see a button that will offer you to upgrade. If we don't have your results, if your DNA has not been processed, we are really not sure if you need to retest or something may happen in the middle. So we're not going to offer you that upgrade option. Unfortunately, you need to have the DNA processed in order to be eligible, let's call it like that, for the upgrade.
Okay. All right. So she'll just need to wait to upgrade to health until her results have been processed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, good. Thank you. Let's go to John's question. So Daniel, John's asking about the trees, and John's cautious about relying on online information, through smart matches and others' trees. What are your thoughts about relying on someone else's tree?
Well, definitely John is right, because garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
That is why always you should contact the other person, either the administrator or whoever is managing that website, that tree, that DNA sample, and ask questions like, where did you got this information from? Where did you found this name or this date of this place? Can you share with me the records, the images? And then you will be able to rely, or you will hear that this is the story that it's circulating on my family and may not be true. It may be a lore, but still, you will get information. More than that, and I know already what a lot of people are thinking, well, can I see the source citation of that tree? Well, I hope that everybody will use source citation. That's another step on the education process that we're trying to implement and to convince everybody to put source citations. If I found something on the census, I will make a note and I will say I found this on the census. If this is something that Anne Mary just told me on family dinner, I will also put that as a citation. But unfortunately, not everybody does citations. So the only way or the best way will be to direct communication with the administrator and ask the questions to get the answers, and then rely on the information on the tree.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Hey, Daniel, several people are asking this about the MyHeritage Health Kit. Can you upgrade to Health if you've simply uploaded your
from
results
another
from somewhere
company?
else? Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it works that
Short
way, does
answer,
it?
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we need to have actually your DNA, your physical DNA, in order to apply to it whatever lab procedure is done to get the health report.
Okay. All right. Well, no time like right now to do that, though. Let's
Listen,
go.
$79. It cannot be better than that.
Yeah. I Daniel,
And
I haven't done it yet. I'm thinking of doing that for both me and my wife for the holidays here at a great price.
and the good news, Jeff, is that if you buy the health kit, you're actually getting everything, because you're getting ethnicity estimations, you're getting matches, and you're getting health.
Okay.
So it's a one-stop for all related to DNA.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Let's go to Stephen, who is asking if he has a tree on another site, can he import a tree into MyHeritage? So now he has a tree at MyHeritage without starting from the beginning.
Definitely. And you do that, Steve, with a JETCOM. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term, a JETCOM is the standard format that all the companies and all the genealogy world have agreed to to move family trees from one place to the other. So yeah, definitely. If you have 200, 500, 7,000 individuals in another place, you should be able to export a JETCOM and upload it to MyHeritage without any problems.
Okay. Thanks, Daniel. Let's go to Joe, who we see at the MyHeritage Facebook group, MyHeritage Users Facebook group. Joe, always good to see you here. Joe's wondering, with your announcement here at the end, Daniel, about the new health reports, what was it, 8 additional or 9 additional health reports? Very exciting. Joe's wondering when will those new reports be available to us, and how do they come to us?
Okay, so first I need to ask, like, who's us, Kimosabi? But yeah, it's like this. Whoever is tested or testing now as a new test, you're going to receive all the reports immediately. Whoever received already reports, whoever has already tested before and saw the first reports that we issued, and it's in Europe, are going to receive it also immediately. In fact, starting tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we're going to start sending all of you an email letting you know about those new reports, and then you can go to the website, and under the Health tab, you will see your new reports right there.
Okay.
So who is suffering here? The bad news are for those U.S. customers who have tested before, few weeks or months ago, and already have their first reports. You will need to wait a little bit more in order to get those new reports. And the reason is because in the US, we work with something called Doctor in the Middle, and we are finalizing the integration for those new reports with the doctor in the middle.
Ah.
So it's going to take just a couple more of hopefully days until you get those new results, that email with the new results, or you can go directly into the website and you can see those new results. But for US people with already tested and already report before, you need to wait just a little bit more.
Okay. That doctor in the middle, Daniel, I think is one of the most fascinating things about what you get when you get a health test. Can you tell us just real quick what that is?
Yeah, sure. It actually is something that you get already included in the price, and depending on your results, MyHeritage will decide if you should consult a physician, a doctor, that will explain you your results. In my case, thanks God, I'm all green, and I'm located, or my account is located in the US, so I don't need a doctor in the middle. For other people that may have some risk or higher risk or other kind of problems, MyHeritage is suggesting you or requesting from you to get in touch with a doctor that will explain you what it means that you are at risk and what is actually that risk and what should be the next step for you. Sometimes it's just you to learn a little bit more about that. Sometimes is to go with those results to your family doctor or to a specialist and request more tests or other things. But you know what? It's really relieving, I'm sorry, the fact that I know that I will have a doctor that I can ask questions about those reports and I can fully understand some of the terminology that it's used over there, which is, it could be kind of concerning if we don't understand what the report is trying to tell me.
And having access to talking with that person is to a doctor, is that what is included?
Yep, it's
Wow.
already included in the
That's
price.
incredible. Wow. Okay. Thank you. By the way, those who are asking, I have now put the link in your chat area to the MyHeritage user group on Facebook. So if we likely won't get to all of your questions in here today, head over there and ask your question there, or even search the group to see if your question's already been answered. Okay, let's go to Deanne's question, who says, are you who wants some clarification? She says, "Are you saying that you can upload a DNA profile and put a family tree onto MyHeritage at no charge without purchasing your kit?"
Yes, that's what I said. A family tree in MyHeritage up to 250 individuals is free. Anyhow, you're paying for the smart matches, the record matches, the technology. Now, there is a caveat. If you upload a JetCom, the whole JetCom will go up, even 50,000 individuals with no problem. And what's going to happen if you have more than 250 is that it's going to be frozen, meaning you will not be able to edit, add or delete information or add or delete individuals in the tree if you don't pay for a subscription. Now, the DNA will also be uploaded and processed and get you ethnicities and matches for free without any problem. As I show you today, some of the features is what you are paying for. So then you decide if it's worthwhile and you want to pay or not. But MyHeritage will allow you always to try and to test it for free with no problem.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. Let's help Sonia here and others who are asking. If they've already purchased a MyHeritage DNA kit and they want to upgrade to health, Remind us where specifically they go, where do they click to make that upgrade happen?
Okay, so you need to go under the DNA tab.
Okay.
You will see an option that says Manage DNA. Over there, you're going to see listed one kid or as many kids as you have.
Okay.
Only those that are MyHeritage DNA kids that are already processed are going to have a blue button saying Upgrade to Health.
Okay. So it's just right there then. Very good. Well, Daniel, we could be here, I think, all night.
I'm pretty sure.
There's so many good questions and comments here.
But you remember what I said before offline, right?
I do
My
remember.
wife doesn't allow me to do webinars if I don't do the dishes, so I need to go and take the dishes now out of the dishwasher,
Okay.
which is about to finish. So,
and where you are, it's probably really dark, and most people are not awake anymore, is my guess. But Daniel, thanks.
Definitely.
Yeah, this has been fun. It's been educational. Looking forward to having you back here in 2 weeks. And again, if you have additional questions, go out to the Facebook group and post them there. Any final thoughts, Daniel, before we sign off?
Not really. I still have a lot of work to do tonight, sending that email with the health release. I would like to thank all the people that came here to listen this webinar live, or those who are listening to it as a recorded, which will be available in the Legacy website very soon. I hope that if we met at any conference, just please say hello. Stop by the MyHeritage booth, which is probably the place where I'm going to hang around, and looking forward to meet you in person.
Oh, very good, Daniel. And I'm lucky to have met you in person and know you well. Thank you. And thanks to all of you, wherever and whenever you are around the world. Thanks for sharing part of your day with us. And remember, life is short. Do genealogy first. Bye, everyone. Bye, Daniel. Thanks.
Bye-bye.